That's a jump I'd done hundreds of times, and I remember thinking, oh, I'm going to hit that tree. I can actually remember like locking onto it like a missile, and of course I did hit it. And then instantly my initial reaction was, oh, you need to stop the bleeding because I've ripped my arm off. And my dad was saying, he said, well, what do you mean? I'm saying, well, where I've ripped my arm off, you need to stop the bleeding. It's with your arms there. I think he actually probably thought I was going to die there. I do think he probably thought that.
Welcome to my office. I used to be a mountain bike guide and I used to lead clients from all over the world around these epic trails and landscapes of Scotland. It was a dream job. Things changed for me back in 2007 when I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Let's just say that MS and mountain biking don't always get along. I can't guide anymore, but getting to these places, it's as important as ever, probably even more so. I'm a champion for the charity Overcoming MS, and just like them, I want the world to know that MS isn't necessarily a death sentence. Mountain biking's always brought me closer to the people and places that matter. In this series, I'm on a mission. I'm going to make new friends and we're going to ride and learn what it is about mountain biking that's so special to them, and hopefully come away with some insights and perspectives that can help me in my life and perhaps even help you too.
He's some boy, Tommy Wilkinson. I've known him for a few years now and he doesn't see anything particularly special about himself or his journey. I've always felt very differently. He had a life-changing injury in his early 20s that flipped everything on its head, literally. But he's pushed through. I've come to Tommy's home patch in Northumberland for a long overdue catch-up and to chat about the things that matter.
I wouldn't say I saw biking as a sport, I just like riding my bike, doing a little jump off a curb and whatever. But then when I discovered it was actually something people did, as it were, that kind of like sparked something in me, I would say. I first started going to World Cups when I was a junior. I mean, it would be very different then to how the sport is now, because, you know, my diet was cream cakes and Haribo and jumping in the van with your pals and breaking down and fixing stuff and eating ham sandwiches all weekend and snapping frames and the first World Cup I went to, I snapped my frame and I had to borrow a bike off someone and all this kind of stuff. It was just but I look back at it really fondly. It was anything but professional, but it was kind of fun because of that.
How did you do?
Terribly. So the first World Cup I went to in Pilar, I snapped my frame. And then the sort of infamous Tommy moment, I suppose, was the start of the first World Cup the next day was in Vigo. I'd done my qualifying run, which went all right. And then I was riding back to the hotel in shorts, no helmet, no top on. And I was mucking around with Cathro and Gary Forrest, and I was doing a manual, and the saddle hit the tyre, dropped the front wheel into a curb, and I basically hit the ground in this Spanish city about 30 miles an hour, broke both my wrists, road rash down my face, blood everywhere. So that kind of sums up my World breakup experience in that one moment quite nicely, actually.
That was a kind of portent of things to come, unfortunately.
To a degree, aye. I'm still not entirely sure what happened, but I just lost my balance and I sort of dropped a foot off because it had a tight corner straight after you land. I thought I'm going to just need to hook around the corner, and basically I must have just cased the landing and got pitched over the bars. And I remember looking at this tree like an arrow, thinking I'm going to hit that, and I did. I can actually you know, people say like everything slows down. Well, it does. Your brain does something. It's like a millisecond thing, but it's short in the living but very long in the memory. This thing, it like feels like an eternity, and you think I'm going to hit that, and I did hit it. And straight away I was saying, oh, you need to stop the bleeding. And my old man was saying, what do you mean? I was like, well, where I ripped my arm off, you need to stop the bleeding.
So you tore your arm off?
No, I didn't, but that's how it felt. That's how it felt. And he was like, well, your arm's there. And I was like, no, I ripped it off. Like, that's the
nerve?
Yeah, that's the nerve, yeah. Weird feeling. And then, of course,
terrifying.
You can't wiggle your toes and you're thinking, oh, f***.
That's not a good sign.
No. Fractured my skull, I had a spinal cord injury, I did something to one of my discs, had a bleed on the brain and paralysed, ripped all the nerves out of the middle of my spinal cord that power your arm. Basically there's, I can't remember, maybe 10 people waiting at the door, like literally waiting at the door for the ambulance. And then there's a big gap in my memory from there till a couple of weeks are pretty hazy. Nobody's really sure what's happening with my arm. I think it's like 54 muscles or something in total that are paralysed. So it's your pec, your deltoid goes, your lat goes, which is pretty important for balance. Trap is damaged, it still works. And then all the muscles in your arm all the way down to your hand, they're all gone as well. So there's quite a lot that affect your gait and your balance and everything that is just doesn't work and never will work again. And I remember I had to go to my local doctor's surgery, and my doctor was the guy who'd actually delivered me. So when I was a baby, he'd actually delivered me when I was a child. And I remember walking to the surgery, and he was going out on his lunch, and he stopped and he was like, "What's happened to you?" Because the hospital hadn't told him, even though I was going into community care. I remember he just felt white as a ghost because I'd lost like 20 kilos in weight. I was like a wraith. I was pale. I was walking with a stick. I mean, I could hardly move my legs very well. If I had that accident in April, even though I couldn't really walk properly till the December maybe, actually I was on the bike, not off-road, but I got my bike about the June time. I actually felt more comfortable on the bike. I think because I'd spent so many years just doing circles with my feet, and I would just ride around the village. There's only 50 houses there or something. I would just do laps like I was 10 years old again, just round and round the village, just go round and round. I remember quite enjoying that. That was quite a nice thing to be able to do again.
Tommy, hang on mate! I was just kind of pushing the bounds for me a wee bit there, Tommy.
And obviously you want to try things and keep going, but I don't really see it as victory or defeat.
You're obviously a lot more mature than me. Talking to you now, it seems like your arm injury hasn't put a ceiling on either your life or your mountain biking. Is that accurate?
The first time I tried to ride with him, it was complete chaos. Because you don't know like little techniques you need to do. You're trying, you're like sitting down, you've got like, I call this my adventure sling, but I've got like a normal sling on, so your arm's flapping around everywhere. I mean, it was a horrible experience. And if I was to actually look back and analyse it, that would be what, 11 years ago now, has been a huge rate of progression.
Yeah, I've got a sort of special bag where I keep all my orthotics and all my bits. It's like, right, what's Tommy going to show me today? Am I going to need my Uber Flex knee orthotic, or will I go with the full-on Robocop brace?
I don't know exactly where you're coming from. If I'm feeling spicy, there's more layers going. Yeah. Like, right, okay, we'll look after this.
And finding your system, the things that work.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, totally.
Because this looks pretty tired, I've got to say.
Oh, that
which
is
means it's
bad.
been worn to death.
Yeah, there's a few of these. Annie's mum makes them for me now.
Oh, wow.
So I've got 3 adventure slings.
Yeah.
You couldn't ride without them.
Does the fact that you've got so little protection there, do you allow that to mess with your head much? Like, you look pretty fluid when you were going in to some of those trails. It doesn't look like it's bothering you.
It doesn't bother us. I have broken it, this arm. I have broken my paralysed arm twice now. And I'm not trying to downplay it because it's not a good thing to do. Yeah.
These are the things you need to do to pursue the stuff that you love doing.
Yeah. And hopefully, you know, we'll see, but hopefully I'm sort of, you know, when I first started riding like this, you're like, right, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And then quite quickly you're like, right, I'm not doing any of that. So you kind of settle into a rhythm of what you can do and what you can't do. I'm not looking to go and ride, you know, the hardest trail on the Gulfie.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not interested. So I've kind of got my level where I'm comfortable and happy, and that's fine. I mean, it basically has 6 months where it creaks like this bike. Then I bring it into the bike shop and for 3 or 4 weeks it's mint. And then it creaks again and you can see everybody going like, Tommy, do you know what lube is?
What's the script here? I mean, am I right in thinking that you've got some adaptations that are making the whole experience doable for you?
Yeah, the damper is the main thing, really. So you can feel the resistance that if you push it, you can...
Yeah.
So it just means if you hit bumps or everything else, it just gives you a level of dampen to stop the...
Doesn't deflect.
It stops the wheel tucking under as much.
Yeah.
And when you're climbing, because obviously you're yanking on the bars, so without the damper, you'd just be like having a disco with your front wheel.
I think I seriously need to look at a damper.
It's really, I mean, the brakes all the time, but it's good when it works.
Okay.
Me and a mate who were a plumber did take one apart once.
A plumber?
And then we were like, we'll put it back together and we'll put chainsaw oil in it or something. Anyway, it completely f***ed it, so I had to go back to America. So that's really crucial to the bike. And then obviously there's one lever. So everybody just thinks I'm a mad head and ride with a back brake, but I don't. It does 2 brakes. And there's a little splitter there. I have massive disc brakes, like on the back.
Looks like a 220.
Which looks a bit silly on a 130mm travel bike.
Yeah.
But because I'm on the brakes loads, I brake shitloads.
Yeah.
You burn through pads pretty quick and the brakes get really hot. Some people will be like, oh, Tommy's a photographer. Some people will be like, oh, Tommy's a filmmaker. Some people say, oh, Tommy, he organises events. You know, and I'm not always going to be able to make films, and in the long run I'll have to compromise other parts of my life if I want to do that. And I don't love it more than I love riding my bike. There is something I think that is absolutely amazing about riding a bike. You know, in terms of like peak technology, the bike is peak human technology.
Do you ever just get absolutely scunnered with it, or is it just?
Yes.
Is it just? You're just. This is it. This is the way it is.
No, I would say I get scunnered every single day.
Yeah.
by it. But if I was to say, would my life be as good as it is now if I hadn't done my arm? I actually don't think it would be. I think I'd still be bumbling around somewhere, flipping. I'd be like that guy in the bar with long hair telling everybody how good he was when he was 18. That's what I'd be like. But, you know, I've had an opportunity to not be like that, which I think is quite good. for probably a year, 18 months, maybe 2 years.
Yeah.
You grieve and you yearn for what you were.
Yeah.
And then it just goes. It goes away, and you've always got memories of what you could do, but I'm not afflicted by them now. It's like being reborn, kind of very weird sensation for me. It's like that was a life then, and this is a life now. I do generally think I've got a pretty awesome life. And that's not because of my arm, but neither is it in spite of my arm either. I think all things being equal, it's worked out just fine. You can't do a handbrake turn in a car.
Bugger.
No. That's a real loss, that is.
Those days
That is
are
a
gone.
that is a proper loss, that.
Society has benefited from your loss.
I know. The roads are a safer place. The hedges are a safer place. Signs are a safer place. Anything that was there, I'd hit it.